All right. So breaking down Jalen Milroe and how well he played for the Seattle Seahawks in his final game in the preseason. So overall for his performance, I think he played pretty well actually. I think I saw some good throws, some good timing throws, some good movement in the pocket. There's also some growing pains and some mistakes, rookie mistakes that you expect for any rookie to make. But I don't think it's nothing major. I don't think it's nothing too hard for Jalen Milroe to get over. I think it's just something repetition and a lot of film study will get over that and help him get over that hump. All right, so starting off with Jalen Milroe's second passing play of the game, I also want to keep in mind too, or add some context. So for Seattle, they have pretty much maybe MVS. They also have Damian Martinez on the field too, but pretty much everyone here is mostly backups. And while for the Packers, they have pretty much all their starters on the field. So I don't want to use that as an excuse for Jalen Milroe, as that can actually be a little more helpful to see where he's at in the pro league in terms of pro league, how ready he is. All right. Anyway, so starting off with the first play, it's a shotgun. Jalen brings his tight end in motion. As the play goes, as the ball snap, Jalen rolls to his right, and as he's facing pressure, his receiver, he's trying to make a connection to his receiver. It's short, but what my takeaway from that play is that while he's rolling right and facing pressure, and there's two defenders that he's able to squeeze like a really tight window, and he's able to squeeze the ball right between the two defenders. That neither of them make a tip or a pass on the or like a tip pass on the ball. And all right, so moving on with the next play. So for Jalen, this is kind of my point of what I mean. Like it's nothing serious that he can't overcome some of the challenges that he's going to be facing in the league as a rookie, and he's probably not going to be playing too much because obviously they have Sam Darnold, but eventually when he does get his opportunity to play, these are things that he'll eventually learn and pick up. Such things as like this play right here. Um, so when the blitz comes, the Packers they bring they bring six guys. So the play is gonna die pretty quick because obviously these are starters and for Seattle they're playing their backups. But naturally, you probably would adjust someone's route, get a slant, maybe pick up like a. I know it's 3rd and 8, so you're trying to get the first down, but also because Green Bay they're bringing pressure, so you're not gonna have enough time to even allow your receivers to get past the land markers, past the first down marker. So again, these are things that Jalen will pick up and learn. It's nothing too much, not too much of a challenge, not too much of an uphill, but these are just things repetition film room will fix. All right, so moving on with the next play is 6:38 of the second quarter. So Jalen Milroe is in shotgun formation, and they're at the. I want to say this is like at the Green Bay 21 or 20-yard line. The Packers are like in a zone, kind of like in a funny zone defense where like they got one, two, three, four, five, six guys kind of like lined up right between the 10 and the 5-yard line. So anyway, Jaron snaps the ball. He looks right, and what he does, he kind of tricks me for a second because I'm thinking, okay, maybe he maybe missed the. Cause I thought he had a play to one of his wide receivers that was open, but what he did, he saw something bigger that I didn't see until I saw it a couple times actually. So what he does right here, I wish I could show you guys, but what he does right here at 6:38 in the second quarter, this way he's looking to his first read and what the safety. I think this is either the safety or the middle linebacker. I think it's the middle linebacker actually. So he looks to him, and the middle linebacker takes the bait. He looks at him, so that only leaves the safety in the backfield, really covering the end zone. And what Jalen does is smart. He just looks at him. He just wants the middle linebacker just to bait. He just wants him to make a move. And so what he does while he moves, his receiver is still moving on the run too. That's when he throws the ball. So that's when the linebacker is already out the way. His receiver, I don't know who it is that he's passing the ball to, but once he throws it, he finds the open man, makes the completion. Really, really smart play. All right, moving on with 4:16 in the second quarter for Jalen Milroe. It's a pistol formation. The ball snapped, and it's a deep pass for MVS. It's a really, really good pass too. It He's open, but it's not by much. He's open by like there's a separation of like maybe 4, 3 yards, but it's still a good pass. perfectly placed into his hands. That's what you want to see out of a rookie. I mean that's one of the reasons why I say too is Seattle fans have a lot of excitement. And then if Darnold, you wish the best for Darnold, but if worse comes to worse, it's not, you know, I doubt Seahawks fans are really like, oh man, season's over. I mean, Jalen Milroe is something that they could really, really work on, build with, and he can be something. All right, so moving on with right before the end of the half, 48 seconds left. This would have been a really good play. This would have been a big play at the end of the half. So it's a shotgun. Jalen snaps the ball. His receiver runs almost kind of like just a go route, but he kind of runs a little diagonal, kind of like towards inside the numbers, kind of like running toward the inside of the goalpost. But anyway, the safety baits because the safety sees another receiver running a shallow cross. He doesn't anticipate the other receiver going vertical. So Jalen throws a deep ball. It's like, I don't know how many yards, 40, 50 yards, whatever. And he just misses it. I mean, like, he just misses it by like just inches. That would have been a big play at the end of the half, but again, these are plays that this is what I'm talking about. These are plays that he'll just more experience, more rhythm, timing. That's natural. He'll get that normal. This isn't a big deal or nothing really too much. Like nothing to criticize really. All right, moving on to the final play that I want to break down and talk about Jalen Milroe. So it's 12:38 in the third quarter. This isn't a big play that I don't think a lot of people would criticize or talk about, especially even on ESPN. You wouldn't really hear or see about people talk about. But this is little things that I think people that regularly watch film on a regular can maybe see a little more what I'm talking about. But I think Jalen, it's like so it's an incomplete pass that was late. He had some separation, and the linebacker because his first read wasn't open, so he checks his second read. The linebacker closes his distance once he checked his second read, but like he also kind of like hops or kind of like weird in a weird way takes a step backward where I think he had enough room. I mean, he had good protection from his O line. I mean, I don't want to go overboard and say like if he didn't hesitate or didn't take a weird step back, he would have made the completion and make this whole thing whatever. I just think that if we had if he hadn't had that little slight hesitation, almost kind of like a juke move or just like a little awkward movement, maybe he's also thinking because the linebacker is kind of in his way, but he's also that very linebacker is covering the check down. And another, this is also too with film as experience. He'll see. I mean, obviously, some statements, as you state to yourself, as obvious as seem to be, but it's at the moment sometimes that we forget things like this. Defenders don't have eyes behind the back of their head, so they only most of the time um, defenses are going to pay attention, obviously, to their guy, to their defender. They're not going to be able to keep an eye on the quarterback and their defender at the same time. So this is just things that Jalen will remind himself and film room will simply fix. It's not a big deal. But these are the pros where they're able to, whether if it's a 5 yard, 6 yard separation, they're able to recover once they see that their quarterback, whatever, did check their first read not open and looking at their second read. And if they think or they see that they're looking at that receiver and they notice that they're going to be open, they're going to immediately close the distance. So these are things that he'll fix and learn to throw the ball quicker and get it out. But I don't want to make a big deal out of it. These are things that he'll grow out of. Overall, I think Jalen Milroe had a good performance for the Seattle Seahawks. And overall, I think this is something exciting for Seahawks fans.